afternoon. Good to see everyone. Good win for the Bison on Saturday. And I know I've commented a couple times, it's hard to win at the Unidome. Coach Farley does a really good job. Talented roster. They got great location right there in Cedar Falls, I think, just to be able to recruit the Midwest. And always very difficult. There's a big sign right there in the tunnel that they want you to know how hard it is to win there. And I was really pleased with how we started. Again, another game where we were able to take the ball first, go down and score quickly. Had some big plays defensively, +4 on the turnover margin. That's always I think a stat that probably goes unappreciated sometimes when you win the turnover margin like that. You should win games. Utilize some explosive plays, especially on third down. We converted a 3rd and 19, converted a couple 3rd and 10s during the course of the game, had a huge 4th and 5 early in the game, and it was good to see our guys with composure and confidence in the play call. And Coach Roll continues to do a great job of putting our guys in good situations. And, defensively made them one-dimensional. We knew Theo Day was a very talented quarterback, has proven that, was an all-conference kid a year ago, and, kind of took him out of the run game by halftime, and they had a lean on the pass game. And I thought our guys, we did a good job playing a lot of big zone. If we just played man, I thought he would be able to carve us up. But I thought we did a good job of keeping the ball in front of us for the most part, and being able to read eyes and break on the football and get some big turnovers. I think 13 points during the game were created because of takeaways, and I think that's a positive, especially going into this time of the year. There's always things that we need to continue to work on. We'll stress those during the week, but excited for the win, and it was a good trip. Everything was well done by our support people. The flight, the travel, a little bit later start. We did, had an extra walkthrough on Saturday morning, got our guys outside. Thank goodness the weather was up to par and 50 degrees, at 11 o'clock. And it was, the last thing about the game was just awesome to see the number of Bison fans that were there. Don't know how many, to be accurate, but I felt like that west side of the dome was the majority was Bison fans. So it was really cool to see how Bison Nation traveled, especially to go down to Cedar Falls and watch us win.
How different is this week for preparation-wise? I know you've practiced before and then let the guys loose.
Yep.
Are you in a normal week then?
Yep, normal week. We'll tweak Thursday just a little bit, just to make sure that we can have a Thanksgiving dinner together as a team. But no, we're going to get in our normal practices.
You've never experienced this of playing on Thanksgiving weekend?
Not here. Yeah. I haven't. I think it's been maybe 2011, 2012, when I was at the University of Northern Iowa. Experienced, playing on Thanksgiving weekend. So just like another week, another opportunity to go 1-0. I know our kids are super excited about it. There was a buzz yesterday in the training room and guys coming through the office that they're excited. Opportunity to get to spend, another holiday with their football family and another opportunity to play in the Dome.
Weren't a seed?
Another great opportunity for us to go play a game.
And not having the bye week with how well you guys have been playing the past couple of weeks, to kind of stay in that rhythm.
Well, ask me Saturday. But there's probably some credence to that comment right there. Is get in the flow, and let's not get out of the flow right now. Let's stay in it. But we also need to, it's been 8 weeks in a row now that we've played football. We need to be smart. We will go to half pads on Tuesday, Wednesday this week instead of our typical full pads on Tuesday. Just again trying to alleviate some of the wear and tear now as we prepare for the playoff season.
It's about Drake coming in, and you saw him last year, but obviously an entirely different team coming in.
Well, impressive. They've won 8 games in a row, and so they've continued to get better as the season's gone on. I think they do some things really well. Probably going to look a little bit familiar, getting 12, 21, 11 personnel. Want to run the football, want to slow the game down, operate more like the Bison than maybe just hanging their huddle and getting on the ball and going. They've only given up 4 sacks all year. It tells you the continuity and the veteran presence they have up front in the offensive line. Have a big back, have a quarterback that does a nice job. They move the pocket a lot for him, and so I think that's part of the reason why people struggle to get pressure on him, just because he's a moving target back there. And then, defensively, 4-down structure. We'll jump into some 3-down, less predictable than maybe the last 2 teams we've played, but some single high, some Tampa 2, pressure from the boundary, or excuse me, pressure from the field, and yeah, they're a well-coached football team, and it'd be exciting to play them.
The UND and South Dakota State film with Drake. How do you dress out with your team, or do you hope you have enough maturity to?
Yeah, I think that was 3 months ago. Things changed, people evolve. I think the first thing, they've won 8 games in a row, and to do that at any level, high school, college, NFL, that's difficult to keep people locked in and focused like that. So I think that's what we need to. I think that's what we need to emphasize.
Kind of evaluate your defense after last week. Some yards and 27 points, but then the 4 turnovers, some sacks. I mean,
Right.
Overall, how do you think they played?
I thought we played okay at different times. I mean, we made them one-dimensional. The last touchdown came with 3 minutes left in the game, and so and they were, 5-step drop, get it out of his hands, throw it as far as you can, push it downfield, and kind of in a 2-minute mode. I thought having 5 sacks was a positive day. They hadn't given up that many for during the season, and so for us to be able to take advantage of some things and create some one-on-ones up front was a positive. But there's always things offensively, defensively, special teams that we need to continue to address. But that's one of the things that I think we do well here is we're going to keep coaching you all the way through the season and until we're done playing.
Do you think Oscar Benson's kind of grown,
Yeah.
seemed to settle into that role?
We started 5 weeks in a row, and I think you've seen, a good player just continue to get more and more confident every week, and taking more and more of the burden. We less concerned about some things. I think Coach Petrino feels like he can call more with Oscar in there because he continues to build trust. He continues to have great weeks of practice, and I think the one thing no one will ever say is that Oscar Benson doesn't have energy out there. And so I think you see that on his interceptions. When he had that first one, the sideline erupted. And you guys see that tells you how important Oscar is and the connection that this team has.
Describe the ball skills, especially the second one.
You know what? That's a good. I wonder where they came from too, because he will beat up the ball during practice during the week. And so, I asked him if he played for Hillsborough volleyball team last week at one point. So, I probably have to eat my words here today in team meeting.
I asked where did he have to get better, but maybe you just answered that.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he was just messing with me all last week, but I saw more PBUs coming from Oscar Benson during the course of the week. But that the pick he had on the spacing concept early was something that we've seen a couple times this year. But the pick that he had on the over, they were trying to hit the second level window. He jumped out of his shoes to get that one. That was a big time pick.
Cam Miller's regular season.
Steady, very efficient. I think if he didn't lead the league in completion percentage, he was near the top. I know he's near the top nationally as well. 4 interceptions. Did he account for 25 touchdowns during the course of the year? I think he continues to mature way beyond what, the Cam Miller that showed up here in the spring of 2020 and was thrown into a kind of a unique world and a unique season. He's learned how to block out the noise. He's learned how to eliminate or prevent fueling the hype. He just goes to work every day and does a really good job. He's got his best friends are the other quarterbacks in the room and the guys on the offense. Has great continuity with the receivers. I think you guys see that in his willingness to put balls. That throw that he hit Raja down on the end zone. That's a big time throw on that over. There wasn't a lot of room to work. There was a flat defender that was sinking. There was a safety playing over the top. But he has confidence in Raja and he has confidence in himself that he can make that throw. And then, he continues to take advantage of run game. The 3rd and 19, it's hard to draw up plays at 3rd and 19. And it wasn't where he wanted it. And all of a sudden, he extended the series with his feet.
How different is the postseason now with it not counting, with the 4-game rule? Does it open up some options to get some younger players? Or
I think it opens up just don't have to worry about it now anymore. Where, unfortunately, you go back to 2019, I believe. Braylon Henderson played in 4 games, and then all of a sudden we wanted to use, and that was through the playoffs, and we couldn't dress him in the national championship game. But he had deserved and earned every right to be there. So I think it's a good decision to take the postseason out of the equation, because you don't know. Injuries affect everybody differently. There's a lot of other things that attrition, transfer portal, whatever you have, it all affects everybody, and so you need to be able to use your entire roster.
Dress, Matt, for the postseason.
64.
Okay.
6 less than what we can dress on the road in the league, and it's going to be about 14 less than we dress for home games. So have already started making some decisions, which is tough because not everyone always understands. Hey, guys, this isn't my decision. This is what the NCAA tells us.
Tell them that when it's getting into a postseason.
Oh, of course. I mean, part of the reason why we're in the postseason is because they've helped us. Because they've get us out of a game. All of a sudden, they had to help us on a special team. I mean, at NDSU, it's all about the team. And so, yeah, when you have to tell a young man who, he's dressed every game or traveled with us, and all of a sudden now somebody 1,000 miles away is telling us that we can't. I mean, that is frustrating. But I mean, it's the rule, and so we'll make it work.
Jake Cava, especially, it seems the sack totals, especially in the last 2 games. Is he elevated his play, or is just something that's just kind of?
Yeah, I think it's been there. I think you go back to his last injury, the torn pec. Jake was playing at a high level, and it's good to see. I mean, man, your seniors should be playing their best football as the season unfolds and as their senior year unwinds. But Jake has been a tremendous leader. May not be a captain, but he is one of our top leaders on our football team, and especially defensively. His last week we had our senior talks, and you could tell his passion for everything green and yellow was at all-time high.
You mentioned to us on Saturday that Peyton is on the leadership council. Is that unique for the backup quarterback to be part of that group?
Some places it might be, but the way we've created our leadership council, we did it a little bit different this last year. Anyone who wanted to be on it was given a 30-second window to walk up and tell them what this program meant to them. And then anyone who has any interaction, meaning equipment, medical, strength, nutrition, assistant coaches, GAs, anyone, and players, anyone who had anything to do with the football program got a vote. And so you're the leadership program or leadership council for the program, not for the team, but for the program. And so his name popped up, and we have about 17 or 18 guys on it. So roughly 15% of the team is on the leadership council.
The guy that doesn't play all the time has been recognized that way.
That he's doing it right when no one's paying attention. Because it's not about who makes plays on Saturday. It's about who's working in the dark, who's getting it done when the lights aren't on or when you guys aren't around. Who's doing it the right way, and we have a lot of guys doing it the right way.
Saturday, was that specific, his usage, Peyton's usage for you and I, or you've been waiting for that, or just can you describe how getting into the game?
We felt like we could take advantage of him in some of the quarterback run game there, and needed to get them into their 4-down. And we've kind of, as the game went on, you kind of get a feel of, hey, they're going to be in 4-down versus this personnel. Well, let's get our different quarterback in there now. We knew 4-down was going to be in there. We knew he could make the read. Their DNs are hard-charging guys, so it was going to be a keep read. And he hit it downhill, and what I see, someone sent me something today that he hit nearly 21 miles an hour as he was heading towards that southern end zone.
Is Cole Wisniewski, I mean, I'm sure it's been an evolution, but you feel he's just getting more and more comfortable at safety, or how do you feel how he's progressed there?
I think he's feeling much more comfortable. I mean, repetition. The only way to get better at things. Very savvy football player to begin with, an all-conference caliber player at linebacker, the last couple years, played as a freshman for us in the 2020 season. I think what I see today, we had a Zoom conversation today about all conferences. He leading the league in interceptions and maybe even pass breakups. So, and again, I think we're only scratching the surface of what he can be. I mean, give him another offseason to, fully be a safety, fully, have command of the offense. I think we're going to be really fortunate in the future years to have a guy with his intelligence and his range at that strong safety position. As of right now, yep.
ranked wins after the FCSU loss. How do you use that momentum to go up against another 8-win team in Drake?
Just keep building on it. It's a good start. We talked after that game at South Dakota State that something good was going to happen of it. You know, I mean, we were competitive in that game. There's some things, I mean, you can't turn the ball over against good teams. We know that. And, but something good was going to happen, and kind of circled the wagons a little bit. And we're just going to keep focusing on us. And I know that it's probably cliche or boring, but you know, that's the only thing I can affect is what goes on in our locker room and on our practice field.
Various times this season that your defense sometimes would get back on its heels maybe and be a little hesitant. Are those days gone, do you feel? Are they playing more confident? Or?
I think playing confident, yes. I don't know if I'm ready to make that to make a statement. You know, we need to continue to get better.
The playoffs, give me your sense of that, how you saw it up close, but what does that mean for nationally wise that 6 of the 12 are in the postseason?
Great depth in our league, and you know, I can sit up here and say there's probably a couple teams that didn't make it that nobody would really want to play. You know, I don't know if there's very many teams in the country that are going to volunteer to go play at UNI or go play Brock Spack. You know, and so you know, there's really good football up and down. You know, our league, we got really good coaches, got good assistant coaches. I think our coaches do it the right way. I mean, it's a physical league. To go 8 weeks without buys. I mean, everyone in the league essentially did it this year, and you know, it's the unfortunate is you know, today we had a big Zoom. You hear the number of guys who are not going to be able to finish the season at schools A, B, and C because you know, maybe we didn't have those bye weeks that were spread out occasionally.
Where do you feel the team is at as you guys now enter the playoffs here?
Excited. Yep, really excited about the opportunity to be in the postseason, and looking forward to getting back to practice and you know, doing whatever's necessary to find a way to get another win in the Dome. You know, I know our veterans are super excited to have another game in the Dome. That place has been home away from home for most of them. I mean, we have the 20-hour rule, but there's a lot of guys that are over there on their own accord a lot more than the 20-hour rule. You know, just watching film in the training room, hanging out with their teammates. That's what makes NDSU football pretty unique and special.
Jaquise Alexander on the field, not necessarily him specifically, but does it allow you to do different things?
Yep.
Having a third cornerback and
Yeah, we've been able to play with Jaden Price a little more at nickel on some third down, and you know, as you see the growth and the elevation of Jaquise's confidence and just understanding of the playbook, then it allows us maybe to do a little bit more that maybe we weren't prepared to do early in the year. That's why you probably saw us playing a little more zone early in the year, but probably has to do a little bit with you know, I know this week we played a little more man free on third down, and they cut us loose a couple times. I know they cut Logan Kopp loose once and on a pressure on third down, and it's been good for us. It's made us more multiple maybe in our third down and nickel package. All right, guys, have a great Thanksgiving.